Every baddie I know is literally single right now. Every baddie I know is single right now. Put that in there. If you're feeling weird about it, it's hot girl summer. That's why you're single.
Wrong!
Nah, you're still single because you keep referring to yourself as a baddie. Now, that title has never been a good one under any circumstances. Typically speaking, if you're dealing with a baddie, it in a way refers to those evil purple-clad dudes who are trying to resurrect Master D to take over the planet. Or it could refer to those nameless bad guys who get completely destroyed by the hero throughout an entire movie. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. You're a dime a dozen broad who's constantly getting destroyed by Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Marco, Pookie, Raphael, Nigel, Ray Ray, Gavin, Chang, Wang, Takeda, and Sylvester Whitesnake. So in that regard, yeah, the name kind of fits, doesn't it?
Oh, sweet irony!
So the second I get in this car, my husband's gonna look at me and say, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm gonna say nothing. But what I'd really like to say is, I'm so glad that you can get yourself dressed and get yourself out in the car and ready to go, while I get every single one of us ready to go, dressed, packed up, fed, and get everything loaded up in the car while watching the kids. But no, I'm good.
Oh, poor you.
You know how I know these women are always full of dookie? Well, it's pretty simple when you think about it. Outside of her making sure her baby is in front of the camera for extra sympathy, if her husband was truly this incredibly lazy and evil, then there would be no chance in HE double hockey sticks that he would tolerate her going online to drag his name through the mud. But not only do you do that freely, you also feel bold enough to tell the entire internet that you're going to be passive aggressive to your husband because of some basic tasks while also ignoring everything that he does for the family. But what's the solution here? Even if he does dress the children and feeds them and does all the other crap that you're mentioning, you're just gonna complain that he didn't do it the right way and that he just did it to prove that he couldn't. So he can intentionally just make your life harder or something. So what's the point? You set this guy up for a spousal Kobayashi Maru. It's a no-win scenario. You set him up for failure, then you get pissed off at him when he fails. So if that marriage is a living hell, it's just because you set it up that way.
Good, but I would say it's horrible yet terrible. Ugly yet disgusting. You suck.
Am I insane for not liking Sydney Sweeney? Like, something about that girl just irks me. I think it's because of just the contradictory, oh, I feel so dehumanized when people over-sexualize me. I have no control over it. But then proceeds to do things that over-sexualize her. And she's like a willing participant. So between the Dr. Squatch, Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap that they came out with that she said was her idea. She's also now a part of an ad campaign with American Eagle that is supposed to support domestic violence survivors, which are going to be predominantly women. So know your audience.
What?
You know, with all of the backlash we've been getting on this whole Sydney Sweeney character, I only had to ask myself two questions. Who in the hell is Sydney Sweeney? And more importantly, why should I care? Because from what I've heard, she's apparently the worst thing that happened to humanity since the Nazis. So let me take a good look at this super evil bridge troll and find out what she did real quick. Oh my God. Oh, sweet mother of the intergalactic space god Jisloblagar, all hail. Are people seriously getting pissed off at this? Guys, does anybody not realize that creepers don't like their filth this clean? Was nobody around in the 90s and the 2000s? I mean, come on. The ad campaigns back then were about one bra strap away from being considered full-on softcore corn on the cob. And people are losing their minds over this? I mean, sure, I guess I could see this causing a tizzy if this was 1947, but even then, who freaking cares?
And there's a part in the ad campaign that like pans down to her breasts and she's like, hey, eyes up here, and like smirks at the camera and like references having good genes and that's why she has big breasts. Like, what does that have to do with domestic violence survivors? And why are you acting like people are over-sexualizing you and it's so dehumanizing and like you're this victim when that is literally your MO? So it's really hard for me to take her seriously as like a person, as an actress. Like, she just irks me. I would much rather her like be a Marilyn, be a Madonna, go be a sex symbol and embrace it, but don't play the victim. It's not cute.
All right, so answer me this, woman. What would be an appropriate ad campaign to show your support for domestic violence survivors while also selling overpriced blue jeans? Would you be more satisfied if it was some battered housewife wearing them? Or how about they tell stories about how their husbands used to relentlessly beat on them while also wearing those pants? Or we could have a massive gaggle of them laugh at dudes who suffered from domestic violence because, as we all know, men can't get abused by women. I'm sure that'll put some asses in pants. I mean, you do realize that in order to donate money to domestic violence charities, you kind of need to make money in order to do that. And considering that the buying public is more thirsty than a celibate sailor on shore leave to an island where pants are illegal, this is a pretty good way to sell some pants. And if you want to talk about hypocrisy and objectification, then you should look in a mirror, sweetheart. Or do you think that it's completely different when you get your tits out to complain about female objectification?
I can see behind your shirt!
If this ad campaign is not about eugenics, then I want to see them do the exact same ad campaign with a black woman.
No.
Oh, I see. I get it now. You're just jealous, and instead of accepting that some random hot chick is hawking jeans with a tongue-in-cheek ad campaign, you're going to try and justify your rage by saying it's the return of the Third Reich. I mean, well, it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Your life is so boring that you need to find rage wherever you can find it, and this just fits the bill, even though it is scraping the bottom of the barrel. So if this offends you, don't blame Sydney Sweeney. Blame your parents for not giving you good enough jeans to look attractive. I mean, you'd still be single and insufferable, but at least you'd be more pleasant to look at.
You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
My truth is that I just want to make someone breakfast and serve it in the nude. Is that so wrong? Nothing crazy, but I'm serving titties and toaster waffles. Syrup on both of them.
Ew.
You know what? I gotta hand it to you, sister. You were somehow able to take the most important meal of the day and somehow turn it into something that's unhealthy on multiple levels. First, you got toaster waffles, most likely off-brand because that's all you can clearly afford, which pretty much barely constitutes as food, maple-flavored high-fructose corn syrup, and you serve it all up with a side of syphilis. I mean, what did this man ever do to you? Why does he deserve that kind of a punishment? It's bad enough that somehow he got himself involved with a soulless thought who can barely speak English, but come on, woman. You don't need to infect this man with STDs and the diabetes. The least you can do is make something that's remotely healthy, like staying away from him so he can make his own breakfast. That's what the fine members of the bounty board do. Their breakfasts are the stuff of legend, and they'll be the first to demand that you put down the toaster waffles in return from whence she came. So Lego the Egos and all hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. The link's in the pinned comment down below if you want to check it out.
At the end of the day, guys, I truly think the only way to really live life and enjoy life to its max potential is to have this like almost diabolical trust within like yourself and the universe, divine, God, whatever you believe in. Because for me personally, I only can truly have fun and enjoy the moment when I know I'm taken care of. And people are like, oh, well, how do you let go and how do you trust? How do you like enjoy the moment? Look back on your life. You've always been taken care of, no matter how shitty the times were, like whatever. You've always been proven time and time again that you're still fucking standing. So like, why not enjoy the moment? Like, why not?
I quit. I quit. I quit.
You know what, gentlemen and gents? I think I just realized something. You know how modern women will go online and say that any man who wants a woman to be nice to him and to take care of him and, you know, be a contributing member to the relationship is just a man who wants a mother? Well, here we have a modern woman who's demanding the exact same thing of the freaking universe. Now, lady, I may not be an expert in the ethereal sciences, but come on, it's not the universe's job to take care of you. That's the job of you and the parents who clearly failed you as a child. You have this thing, it's called free will, and the universe isn't the one driving you to get wasted and mount every Tom and Harry dick on every Tuesday night. That random infection you got should have been a dead giveaway to that truth. Now, I can't vouch as to whether or not she's got some kind of a disease, but we're dealing with an irresponsible woman here. The odds of her infecting her scummy slop tunnel of hopeless doom with some kind of a disease is pretty much slim to none.
I'd buy that for $1.
It is strict out here. I went on a date recently, and after we wrapped up, paid the bill, we were walking out, okay? He walked to the restaurant and I took an Uber. He was like, oh, how are you getting home? I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take an Uber. He's like, okay, I'm gonna walk home. We gave each other a hug. I'm calling my Uber. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like 5-7 minutes. I'm like, yeah, but it's okay. You don't need to wait if you don't want to. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then he just like walks off and goes. I didn't like that. If you're just walking, you don't have a car to catch, you don't have a whatever to catch, why can't you wait 5-7 minutes when you're like showing so much interest in me? After that, once I got home, he didn't text me to see if I got home safely. So that's a no ma'am, no ham, no turkey for me, because what do you mean? Like innately something you should know. If you're going on a date, you like the girl, or even just to be like a gentleman, kind person, you wait to make sure that she's home safe. And then he messages me the next day being like, hey, like I had a really good time. I would love to see you again. No, sorry, not in the business of teaching you.
Well, bye.
You know, lady, I really don't think it's smart to insinuate that you can teach people when your memory makes a freaking goldfish look like the keeper of secrets to the freaking cosmos. You literally told this guy that it was okay for him to go home, so he did. He even double checked, and both times you said it was cool for him to leave. So what in the hell did you think was going to happen? I mean, lady, I know when you speak, you mean stuff that are pretty much the exact opposite, but just because you know you're playing these dumbass games with men doesn't mean that they have to play. You could have easily had him stick around for a few minutes by trying to have a cute and flirty conversation with him. Throw on some charm and really let him know that you dig him, but you didn't do that. You put all of the responsibility on him because you're incapable of being cute, flirty, or have any form of conversation that isn't filled with cryptic nuances that make no sense to anybody. And as much as I would love to teach you, I really don't feel like it. It's not my job to teach you basic human communication, and it's really pointless, because unless it's on a reality show, you won't be able to learn it anyway.
You stupid.
Hot take. Relationships only work out when the man is more obsessed with the girl than the girl's with him. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Every relationship I've ever seen, the man has begged that woman. He worships the ground she walks on. He wanted her so bad. He chased her down, okay? But for some reason, whenever like the girl really wants that guy and that he chased them down, it never works out. It never works out. I mean, sometimes it does, but 90% of the time it does not, okay? The man has to always want the woman more. I don't know why. Okay, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And I'm not saying like once they're dating, like he loves her more. No, they love each other the same.
Liar, liar, liar.
But like he has to treat her like she's a queen. Because that man has to be, yeah, he's literally be like obsessed with the woman for it to work. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did, but I have still yet to see a relationship that does not have that dynamic. That has lasted a long time. Hot take.
You have had the frontal lobe of your brain removed and replaced with bubble wrap.
Alright, so you're saying the only way a relationship can work is if the man does all of the work to make the woman feel desired while the woman does next to nothing. I mean, let's not mince words here. You're saying that the man must be obsessed with this woman while she can just look at him with an attitude that can only be described as disrespectful indifference. When it comes to the love part, they love each other equally, conveniently enough, but that's impossible because the man has to go above and beyond to prove it, while she can just exist to convey the exact same message. Now, you're saying you don't know why this works, but it clearly doesn't. You've never been in a relationship. You're making assumptions based on whatever show you're binge watching, because it's certainly not from personal experience, because any self-respecting man who's with a woman who doesn't care about him the same way he does, then he's going to be out the door, because there's no point being obsessed with a woman who's as mid and ungrateful as yourself.
Amen.
I love it when people tell me the mental load isn't real because it gives me an opportunity to give them real life examples of what the mental load looks like in everyday life. And so today I'm going to give you an example from my own life with my husband and I. And before I do, I just want to put out a disclaimer. This is not me bashing on my husband. I am sharing this for educational purposes only, okay? For you to get an idea of what the mental load is and how it shows up in day-to-day life, okay? So we're going to talk about the dish soap. So the other day, my husband and I were running around, we're getting the kids ready, we're going to a friend's house to go swimming. He was doing doing the dishes. And he said, God, I feel like we're always running low on soap. We use so much soap. And I said, yeah, we do. We're constantly using so much soap. It's crazy. We wash so many dishes. Right? That was the end of the interaction. All right, we go about our day. We go to the pool. We come home. We have dinner. I go to wash the dishes. What do you know? We have no soap. And now, because my husband and I talk a lot about the mental load and what it looks like to share responsibility for our home, I said to him, hey, babe, did you refill the soap when you noticed it was empty? And he said, oh, shoot, I forgot. I meant to, and then it got chaotic. I'll do it now.
You have had the frontal lobe of your brain removed and replaced with bubble wrap.
Well, hello there, Gladys. I see your soul is as hideous as always. Well, that's just swell. You make children want to claw their eyes out. And it's nice to know that when you claim to not be shaming your husband, you still figure out a way to shame the poor guy by reminding the entire planet that you got his balls in your purse. Take this mental load crap, for instance. It is not a real thing. Your prime example is how your husband had to apologize to you for not refilling the soap container. And even though you were right there at the sink and you could have easily done it yourself, your mental load was so heavy that he had to refill it for you because doing it yourself would have made you consider making a video about how he weaponizes his own incompetence just to make your life miserable. Gladys, you don't share the mental load. You've just beaten this man down to the point where he has to magically predict all of the little things that need done while you demand some kind of medal for putting diapers in a freaking bag.
Now that was super simple, right? Like no big fight, no big to-do, no defensiveness, none of that. Because we have worked really hard in our house to share the mental load of what is required to manage a home. Keeping the soap full, the toilet paper stock, the paper towels, the kids' laundry done, like all of that, we both take accountability and ownership of. But what tends to happen in a lot of relationships are things like the soap and the paper towels and the laundry default to one person, typically the woman, because we know women are carrying the bulk of the mental load. And so what happens is he washes the dishes, he notices there's no soap, and then he goes, wow, we're always out of soap, and then leaves it to her to refill. And when she asks him, hey, did you refill the soap? Instead of saying, no, I didn't, let me do that now, he gets defensive and says, you're always on me about everything. Sorry, I forgot. What's the big deal? It's just soap. And she says, well, it is just soap, but now I can't wash the dishes and I have to refill it even though you noticed it, right? And so it's not a big deal when it happens one time, but if it's repeated behavior where the soap and the shampoo and the toothpaste and the toilet paper are always running out and only one person's replacing them, that is the mental load. It's being the person who knows and plans and restocks and rebuys all of that, right? It's anticipating the fact that you're gonna need soap, right? It's being the person who refills the soap and then notices the soap you use to refill the soap is running low and you need a refill, right? That's the mental load. So anyways, in case you were wondering what the mental load looks like in real life, there you have it.
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
You know, Gladys, I gotta ask, where do you come up with these scenarios? How is it that forgetting to buy toothpaste, changing out toilet paper, or not refilling the dish soap is so horrible that you feel the only solution is to disrespect your husband and to treat him like garbage, and you use your inability to think without bitching as an excuse? I mean, you're either terrible at thinking or you just hate your life, your husband, and your entire family so badly that you're willing to start up a fight over any tiny thing that doesn't go exactly your way. I mean, you are the one who almost divorced your husband and broke up the family all because he forgot to take out the garbage. Yeah, we got a long memory over here, Gladys. You're the one who's constantly talking crap about him on the internet, and you're the one who's constantly nagging the guy to the point where he's given up. He just says yes, dear, and does anything you ask because nothing he does is ever good enough for you. And even if it was, you'd still rip into him because at the end of the day, emasculating your husband, being a control freak to your children, and making everyone's life a living hell is the only way you can experience any joy in your life, you overbearing freak. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.